if you could explain what is the crack?
Hey, the crack.
How can I have the crack? What's the crack?
What is the crack? You are the crack.
Welcome to today's audio crack. We have a pretty crazy interview today with Throwgod. You may know him from TikTok, Instagram. This dude is out there, and he is a former 4-star high school quarterback who was an Elite 11 quarterback. He was around some of the best players, Mark Sanchez, Aaron Rodgers, Dan Orlovsky, just that type of guy. He played for NC State in Nebraska. He then found a lot more success in D2, but he has now become way more famous for his online persona, Throwgod, Harrison Beck. Don't take this guy too seriously. He says some pretty wild shit, some kind of problematic stuff, but it's a hilarious interview. He's just wild. The dude's just wild. And I just wanted to talk to him. Hopefully we don't lose any sponsors. But Nikki Quinn, how about them Jets?
How about those Jets?
Dude, those Jets fucking balled out. That was insane. We had prime Rodgers, Percocet Rodgers. He was balling out, balling off a perk. Dude, legit. He looked like vintage Aaron Rodgers.
Listen, we know the Patriots aren't going to be very good this year, but it was amazing and very encouraging to see him mobile. He was moving around, extending plays, even running for first downs. And that was the first time I watched a Jet game in 10 years where I was like, okay, it's third down. They're probably going to convert.
Dude, I literally was looking forward to the second. Like, have you ever looked forward to the Jets getting the football back? And
No, usually you're trying to find the sim button.
Yeah, you're trying to be like, yo, hopefully something crazy doesn't happen. And Zach Wilson throws like a 360 pick for the second time in a game. So that was it was just such a weird watching experience because I was more excited than scared.
It was a fun watch.
This brand of Jets football, what we need to do is the defense looked way better, but the Patriots may have sucked. They may just suck really bad. Drake May looked terrible, but it's just so encouraging to see. We got the Broncos this Sunday, 1 p.m. slot, then the Vikings. If we can squeak 2 wins out before the Bills game, that would be pretty huge. 2-1.
2-1. Most likely going to be 3-2 after 5 weeks because the Broncos did beat up on Baker pretty bad yesterday. It was a sad sight to see.
Yeah, but Baker's balling. Bryce Young, do we think he was the problem?
According to yesterday, he is the problem.
Yeah. Everyone was saying it was the Panthers. They're saying Sam Darnold. In Baker Mayfield.
Turns out they just need the Red Rocket.
They just needed the Red Rocket. Andy Dalton.
He was the Panthers throw god.
Yeah. Dude, this throw god interview is pretty wild. This went to some crazy places. Maybe turn your volume down a little bit. Don't listen to this in a car with anybody else, especially kids.
Please wear headphones.
Yes. Wear headphones when you listen to this interview. It's pretty wild.
NSFW.
And before we get into our interview, I just wanted to talk to you about Dub, our first presenting sponsor. Dub, if you're a crackhead, if you like listening to this podcast, then I need you to go to dubapp.com/Billy. Sign up for this app. Do the 1 week free trial. You're going to like it. The returns are insane on this thing. So what is the Dub app? The Dub app is like eBay for investing. They've built a marketplace where you can copy the investments of great traders or be the trader who gets copied. It's a democratization of access to hedge funds. You don't need the $1 million trust fund. You don't need the $1 billion to get the returns of some of these great traders who will only take you if you have tons of money they can get a cut of. No, if you have, a small investment, you can get the same insane returns that millionaires and billionaires have been getting for the past, 100 years, as long as the stock market existed. It is portfolios based on politicians, insiders, and hedge funds. These portfolios track their public trade filings. One of the top performers is the Pelosi portfolio. It is up over 70% this year. So there's also portfolios built by up and coming traders, which I actually have found some pretty awesome ones. There's one called Focus Investing, which has been having some great returns. Some of them have been beating Pelosi's profile. And the thing is, no one can fake their performance. You have all the results are there. It's not like these finfluencers who be like, I made this trade and made millions of dollars and you can follow me and make $1 million too. These guys have to show all their trades they're making, not just their wins. And that is because it is the first regulated copy trading platform. The company is regulated. Dub Capital is an SEC registered investment advisor, and Dub Financial is a broker dealer and a member of FINRA, just like Fidelity or Schwab. And they're also SIPC insured up to $500K. So they're legit. They're the only legit copy trading program out there. There's other frauds that will say that they're, doing everything that Dub says they can do, but they're frauds. They're not actually registered by the SEC, which is not the Southeastern Conference. That is the Security and Exchange Commission. And the trades happen automatically. So I have money in there right now and I don't really have to worry about it. I check it every now and then, but I don't have to, take time out of my day to make sure the stock market is going a certain way or a certain other way, because they just do all the trades and make all the intelligent moves without me having to do anything. So you can just sit it and forget it. So yeah, definitely would check it out. Please use my link. You can get up one free week trial of Dub. You can cancel at any time. Invite friends, get $20 each. So you throw that link into a group chat with 10 dudes and they all sign up using that link. You'll get $20. They get $20. They're giving you free money to invest. It would be awesome if you threw it into a group of 20 dudes, like a fantasy football group chat. Say yo, sign up, get involved. You get 20, I get 20. 20 dudes, $20 each, $400 into your account. That's money that will then get some of these crazy, amazing returns that we've been seeing. Barstool Sports is a paid promoter for Dub and receives compensation for the promotion of its service. Please go to dubapp.com/Billy. Sign up for the free week trial. It is definitely great. Past results do not guarantee future performance. Barstool Sports is a paid promoter for Dub and receives compensation for the promotions of its service. And now we're going to get into our interview with Throwgod. Check it out. Welcome back to Audio Crack. We have a very special guest today. You may know him from Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We have the Throwgod, Harrison Beck. Throwgod, thank you so much for coming on. Been a huge fan of your content for years, and happily to finally have a show to invite you on. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I just woke up. I was up yesterday. I did a bunch of blow when I was in the hot tub, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And so I took a melatonin. I went to bed at 10:30, and I called my producer. I said, I want to do a deathcore song tomorrow. And so I just woke up this morning and been in the garage just working out like an autistic kid.
What you hit today? Legs, arms?
Yeah, I'm very routine based. So Mondays are legs and shrugs and shoulders. And then Tuesdays are bench press and biceps and upper body and all the stuff for my throwing arm. Then Wednesday is just core. A lot of people think I have a belly, but as you can see, if you can kind of see, I have a 6-pack on top of the seal blubber.
Dude, that's what they call a power belly, like power lifters. Like you see all those big strong men, they have those huge bellies. That's just,
It pisses me off because you've never seen a great white shark with abs. You know what I'm saying? And then even a seal, they have 6 inches of blubber. So that way when a shark tooth or like a black defensive end bites your rib cage, trying to sack you or trying to eat you for a snack, the tooth gets stuck in the blubber and you can kind of just smack the black guy defensive end off you. You can smack his face off you and his tooth will come out of your belly and then the shark will swim away and then you can be like Ben Roethlisberger and you can throw a bomb.
Dude, that's like polar bears. Polar bears also got that blubber.
Exactly. Anything big and strong has a big body. Grizzly bears, polar bears, sharks, anything, lions, alligators. So I'm just trying to be top of the football food chain.
That's all it's about. Now, I want to talk to you. So like your Elite 11 class back in 2004 that you were in was stacked. I think if I'm right, it was Mark Sanchez, Aaron Rodgers. I'm a Jets fan. Fortunately or unfortunately, as of right now, I know you went to bed early last night. Did you catch any of the games?
Yeah, I did. I watched the games. My wife just started her fantasy league, so I picked all her players for her, and she's like number one in the league. I never really play fantasy football because I don't fantasize about hot, sexy football guys, and I just don't fucking pay attention to it like that. I like to get more into the psychoanalytical pieces of the players more than the point systems. But she's doing really well, and so she picked Saquon Barkley because of me. And he's just going off this season.
I mean, I know he had that drop in week 2 that people were talking about, but he had a great game yesterday.
Yeah, well, he had 3 touchdowns, and yesterday he had a fucking badass run. And then I think the Eagles actually beat the Saints yesterday, 15-12.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, I want to talk to you. So, like back in 2004, you're sitting there, highly recruited guy out of high school, 4-star. You're with Mark Sanchez and Aaron Rodgers. What was that class like? Because I know they didn't televise it back then.
Yeah, it was. There's a lot of politics involved in the Elite 11. Okay, you don't just get picked. You have to go to a combine. So as a kid, when I was growing up, I went to 3 different high schools. I went to South Iredell High School in North Carolina and Charlotte. I went to Seminole High School. I faked being Catholic, and my mom would make me jump out of the car and run inside the church and put $20 in the little fucking basket so I could get the tuition down from $10,000 to $5,000 so I could go to Clearwater Central Catholic. Then my coach, this is before NIL deals and recruiting, my coach says he's leaving and going to Countryside. Then I leave and I go to Country Club High School in Clearwater. So I basically went to 4 high schools to play. And this is actually becoming the norm. I'm near Allen High School where Kyler Murray went to. You get 50,000 people in the stadium, but you hear horror stories of 5-star quarterbacks in Minnesota that come to Allen and get fucking benched and don't even play, and they lose everything.
Minnesota high school football, not much speed.
Well, the broader point here is that these kids have this pipe dream of playing like college football. Like you just have to be able to throw a good pass, and you really have to know how to be a salesman and sell. And so what I did is I went to these different high schools till I found a program where I'm starting at, and one that didn't run the fucking wing T, that actually ran a West Coast offense under center throwing so I could learn footwork and the fundamentals. Then the second piece is, this is back before Huddle and Twitter. I used to burn DVDs, all my highlights, and I would mail them to the coaches. I would cold call the coach's office, like the Florida Gators. Is Ron Zook there? Can I talk to Ron Zook? And then I would try to call, and then my mom would drive me, and I would just show up on campus at the football office and start walking around the office shaking my hands. And so you actually have to sell like a traveling businessman. Okay. And then you got to go to the rivals.com combines, and the FBI, they need to fucking break into rivals.com headquarters because those kids got hundreds and thousands. Those Mike Farrell and them, I guarantee they have hundreds and thousands of hours of footage of little kids working out on their computers. It's the weirdest thing you've ever seen. And so it's what it is. It's recruiting. And it's starting at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old now. They're like, oh, he's a badass 5th grader. We got to keep an eye on him. And so you go out to these rivals.com combines. They measure your 40, and you better run a good 40, and you can screw yourself up because the higher up the flagpole you go, the more they can see your ass. Luckily, I went out there and threw absolute bombs. Okay. And I'll let you talk here in a second, but I'll give you a perfect example. It used to be called Student Sports Magazine. They're holding a combine with at the Florida Gators. Drew Weatherford's in the class, Xavier Lee. This is 2004-ish. My mom told me, we're just going to go watch. She drives me out there, and I think I'm just going to be, watch them and see what my competition is. She goes, your cleats are in the trunk. Go get them. She goes out, marches out to the middle of the field. She tells Brian Stumpf and them, she's like, my son's better than every fucking quarterback here. He wasn't invited, but now he is because he's here, and you're going to let him throw. I went out there and threw, and I got number 1 quarterback over Drew Weatherford, Xavier Lee at the camp. And next thing you know, I got fucking 50 D1 scholarships. And so there's a lot that goes into it besides like, hey, I just got picked for the Elite 11.
No, dude, trust me. Those recruiting camps are straight up meat markets. I only played D3. I was like trying to go low FCS, but and it was so much easier for us because we had Huddle, so you could just send your Huddle link I was class of 2017. You just send your huddle link to coaches and, but that makes their job easier because everyone's got a huddle link so they can find talent from anywhere in the country.
Now you just have to be Anthony Richardson and you just have one 60-yard pass that goes viral on Twitter. You don't even need touchdown passes or picks anymore. The NFL coaches, they literally say, can you produce 25 viral Twitter plays a season and you can start for us?
Do you think that the game's been dumbed down?
Yes.
Especially at the college level, and now it's gone into the NFL?
And in some ways I respect it because I hated being coached. I always was like Dan Marino, like, just give me the fucking ball. I have a cannon. I'm going to fucking go deep. And sometimes the plays are long. You're like, green right tight, 93 weak black to a 58 fup X on, and your fucking hands are shaking, and you're like, I'm just trying to get the fucking snap, man. And now it's just like gator pass on one, and you just pump the bubble and you throw a go route. And so I actually kind of have respect for the fact that they've kind of turned it into basketball, like a run and shoot Mouse Davis kind of offense. And the kids are in the shotgun now. They're basically back as far as punts. I mean, they're 8 yards back. Their feet are clean. June Jones has a quote. He says, you put a 6-foot quarterback in the shotgun, he'll turn into Joe Montana. And that's what you're seeing with Dylan Gabriel. You see, they should put Tua 25 yards back. But it really, and then this is the other thing about the spread offenses is it's starting young now. In high school. And so the kids are going to college with 5,000 passes under their belt in high school. And so they're not afraid to throw passes. It used to be like you would get recruited to go play at a Power 5 school and you ran the wing T in high school and you only threw 11 touchdowns in a season and your coach only let you throw 11 passes in a game. And now you're throwing 30 passes and it would freak you out. Now the kids are like, I fucking threw 60 touchdowns in high school. This shit's going to be easy.
I threw 55.
See?
I was in a spread and like
monster stats.
We ran hurry up and like we wouldn't even huddle and I'd just be yelling out the plays from the line.
Probably a dream come true too. You probably loved it.
It was sick. And then I went to college and honestly, my college career didn't exactly pan out how I wanted to. I actually started working for Barstool in high school and got the moniker Billy Football just because I was a college recruit working for the company. Now the company has tons of NFL players working for them. So my football prowess in the company is much lower, but I still have this moniker that I went to college having to live up to.
You're like Shane Gillis, where you can say you're a fake D1 player and a fake Army veteran and a fake dad and all this stuff. It's crazy. So that's good. That's good for you.
Yeah, it's one of those things. So then I went to college. It didn't really work out. I didn't really translate to the system as well, like dealing with tons of formations, tons of play types. And then, I came in with a guy who started over me. So that was pre-NIL. So you couldn't really do much. So there's definitely way more flexibility when it comes to transferring nowadays, but you see that totally with the new Colorado team. What do you think about their finish over the weekend over a mid Baylor?
Well, I'll address a few points here. One, I'm like the Rain Man. So I ran the West Coast offense in high school, but I also sat in my room literally and just drew plays on a piece of paper. Like, how black kids, they draw animations and stuff. I sat there and I just drew plays on a piece of paper. And so when I went to Nebraska, I knew the whole offense and everyone was super impressed. They're like, Jesus Christ, this guy's a genius. I was all ACC academics. I'm actually super, I like to party and throw passes and do drugs and all that stuff. But I also I think it's because I'm trying to quiet the schizophrenia that I have. Sometimes I wish I was just a dumb janitor and I had no brain cells at all. But the second piece that you said about Colorado is he's a demagogue. I mean, Deion Sanders, he's basically what they do is they pretend to be deacons. And this is one thing I know about college football. And this is advice for all you kids out there. And I'm not fucking kidding you. You better have your playbook and you better have your Bible in your other hand. Whether you believe in God or not, you believe in Jesus Christ or not, it's a Christ cult. College football is a Christ cult. You look at Tim Tebow. He went down to there's an article in the Orlando Sentinel. He went to third world countries without a medical license and circumcised children. And in the article, go find the article. He's like, he's like, my hands were shaking because you can't exactly do this in the United States. But he was basically in a Christ cult. And so, and that's why he got kicked out of the NFL, is Deion Sanders, what he's doing at Colorado right now. It's like, okay, the big comeback win, Shadur, he dropped his balls. He showed a little chops. He threw the touchdown. We used to play this team in St. Pete called Lakewood. And when the black people wear the black and gold like that, it makes them look like super transformer black. Like they look like bigger and scarier and stronger than ever. And so he picked the right color scheme for his Christ cult. But I saw after the game, he was like, oh, this one's for Jesus. Could you imagine if you're not like a God-fearing person and you're just like, hey, I'm an animal and I just want to, lie, cheat, steal, kill, and just live my life. And they get pulled in the office and they're like, why don't you believe in Jesus? And then you're like, oh, and they're like, Black Jesus, Deion Sanders. And then you might get cut from the team because you're not a Christian. So there's a lot of dynamics when it comes to playing for Deion besides just if you're a good D1 player. I think private investigators are actually tailing him and watching his every move because he's turning Colorado into a third world country. And I think all the white privilege parents that live up, the snow bunnies that live up in the mountains, I think Deion Sanders will eventually be taken out of Colorado in handcuffs and arrested. And I mean, we'll see it all play out, but that's my prediction is that he'll spend the rest of his life in prison.
You think like a P. Diddy situation with Deion Sanders?
I don't know. I just know I've been managing, I've been like not quite a Jew, but like a white middle manager for most of my life. And anytime I've had a EVS manager or something that looked like Deion Sanders, they never did their paperwork right. They never signed the employee files or got the Hep B shots. And so I imagine the compliance at Colorado is out of control. I don't know if the kids are going to school, if they're even academically eligible. Have you seen the rumors from the reporters of like guns and gambling and like they made each other fight each other like bears and stuff?
I wrote a blog on that. We don't know if those claims are substantiated, but there was the one cornerback recruit that apparently got his ass beat after a game for playing badly.
Right.
I don't know if those are very true. Sounds like a lot of haters from within the.
Probably is.
Oh man.
Hey, he's 3-1 now. I mean, so I actually was watching the game and I was like, okay, he's 3-1. I mean, Baylor's not a good team. Colorado State's not a good team. North Dakota State is good, but I mean, obviously they're kind of like when you play like that D1 AA, the chromosomes of the Caucasian kids, they're just like missing just one. They're just off. They're like all Brock Purdy or something. So we'll see as he gets into the competition here what Colorado does.
Well, let's go back to that Elite 11 class you were in. Did you think Mark Sanchez and Aaron Rodgers, was he a counselor or was he another like in the class?
They bring in like the best senior quarterbacks. So Carson Palmer was there, Aaron Rodgers, Kyle Orton, Brad Smith out of Missouri. Dan Orlovsky was there. No one likes Dan Orlovsky, but I mean, he's the same way he is on ESPN. You're just like, he's super annoying. And he doesn't have a good arm. Derek Anderson was there. I don't know if you remember his stint with the Browns and the Panthers. He's actually pretty cool. He hit me up on LinkedIn. No one will help me, by the way. Like no one, they're all my biggest fans. Like Jordan Palmer. He DM. I have DMs of him. I'm your biggest fan. Shane Gillis is DM me. I don't want beef with you. All these famous people love me, but they're afraid to click on my stuff or they'll get canceled. It's crazy.
Shane Gillis, you have beef with Shane Gillis?
I thought his SNL monologue sucked. And the next night at like midnight, I don't know if he was drinking beers. I mean, I could if you need me to fucking show you, I'll fucking show you.
I understand, but what, you didn't think he went hard enough in his monologue?
Yeah, I just thought it was garbage. I just think if you're going to go hard, you got to go hard. But at the Irish, the number one country in the world for Down syndrome is Ireland, right?
I do. Yeah.
Just so you know that. So he's Irish and Sam Hyde's Irish and all these Irish guys, they're kind of running comedy. And, but let me explain this to you about the Elite 11. So Do you remember Jason White from Oklahoma?
Yes.
He was like, he won the Heisman and everything. And he was, and I'm not kidding you, bro. I'm not kidding you. If you saw some of these people throw in real life, like you just see the highlights on YouTube and on Twitter and stuff. But if you threw next to them, and I have a great arm. I mean, I'm like fucking testosterone Troy Aikman. I mean, I'm a men's tea clinic Troy Aikman. And I threw next to Jason White, and he was just throwing like the wobblers and ducks, and he could barely throw. Kyle Orton had a badass arm. Brad Smith was complaining how Kyle Orton was trying to party the whole time and go to strip clubs, and he wore Oakleys, and he had the red lizard. You know the neck you get when you fucking drink a lot and shit, like that red lizard neck, and he just tie-dye t-shirts. Kyle Orton was a badass. He had a great arm. Me and him were just chucking comebacks. And there's a thing with quarterbacks. It's like, I don't know if it's like baseball pitchers, but like he would throw one, and then I was like, I'll throw one like even harder. And then next thing you know, we're not even paying attention to anybody. We're just like, like fucking just, and people were like, whoa, it's like two fucking bears like trying to fucking claw at each other. But Aaron Rodgers, he used to hold the ball like way up here because of Jeff Tedford at Cal, and he was real kind of clunky and goofy. The one thing I remember about Aaron Rodgers is I'm going to say it. I mean, if you're a Throwgod fan, you know. And you ever seen Eric Dane in the movie Valentine's Day with Ashton Kutcher at the end where he does the press conference and he comes out and he's like, "Hey, I'm a gay NFL quarterback." That's going to be Aaron Rodgers. So you'll see. It's going to be at his Hall of Fame speech. It's going to be funny. He's going to say, "Ha ha, I tricked you all. I got a gold jacket in the Hall of Fame, and I've been gay quarterback this entire time." You'll see. Talks with a lisp, very low key. I was like sitting there at the camp, and I was like, "Mom, something's wrong with this guy."
That switched though from having the ball up here. Now he has it by his hip, and he's shooting from the hip more. I mean, that flick, did he always have that flick, or is that developed later in his career?
You actually want it low. So like what they teach the young quarterbacks this because it's safe. And so you could be a kid who's going straight to the MPC and not the NFL. But as long as they can teach you to throw like this, your parent will keep paying $150 to a fucking washed up, low key local neighborhood college quarterback. So they teach the MPC kids how to throw like this because at least it looks like they're teaching them some kind of skeletal system when it comes to their mechanics. But you actually, Chad Henne and Scott Loeffler at Michigan, you actually want the ball right here. And you actually want it right below your breast. And so when you come through, you keep it real tight to your body like this. And then you can just, and then when you get to the top, the ball should be right off the ear. So you come through and you should be coiled up. Just see how I'm coiled up like that? So I just come through and I'm that close. And I come through and I'm just right there. And you'll see like Drake May, for instance, right? Right now, one of his big problems is he's this wide. He's this wide. And so some defensive end is going to chop his fucking chicken wing right off his fucking arm. And he's going to have a fumbling problem. And he's this wide. And so he comes through and it's this big. I call it the goofy U. JJ McCarthy has the same issue. It's the goofy U. If you look at Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, it's just right here. If you look at Drew Brees and Tom Brady, it's like a Mike Tyson punch. They knock you the fuck out.
Dude, so if I ever have a son, could I send him to you for quarterback training? Because I believe that you actually have the shit that you need. So, and I'd be very comfortable sending like my 12 to 13-year-old son to learn real quarterbacking skills from you.
Well, I do it locally. I mean, I've won 5 little league championships with my son at the quarterback. He has 4 little black kid receivers. They're super fast. And I swear to God, he has a great arm. He can throw it like 50 yards already. We just have Braylon and Carter. They're super fast and they just run go routes and it's indoors. So there's like an indoor flag. And we say, just run down the wall. And my son just gets a snap and he throws it as far as he can. And they call it head topping, and they just jump off and they rip the wig right off the white kid.
I mean, having skill players that can make plays is always great for a team. So, heading back into, you got your first offer in 8th grade. Am I correct? NC State?
Yes.
So do you think that guys are going to keep, like, you always heard those stories about Lane Kiffin giving scholarships to kids in middle school and then them not panning out? Like, there's that one guy who ended up playing for West Virginia, Sills, who was the famous one who got an offer at 12.
Yeah. And then he played. Yeah. And then he went to receiver after being a quarterback.
Yeah. Do you think that's good for quarterback development or actually detrimental?
I don't think you know anything until you get to be 9th grade, probably. A lot of parents right now, they're pimping their kids out. The next Patrick Mahomes and the next Boy Burrow, and the kids aren't even forming their own identity. This is the thing about famous people, by the way, is famous people don't want to be the next anything but themselves. And so when you teach a little kid to be the next Patrick Mahomes, then the world is missing out on what he was supposed to, whatever God angel came into his body and whatever athlete he was supposed to be. Instead, he's mimicking some other man. And so, yes, I went through a phase, or I love Brett Favre, but eventually I was like, you know what? I'm Beck Favre. And you got, so this is what happens. I played Little League football, 6th grade. I quit, too hot, pads too heavy. Came back 7th grade, played defensive end and fullback because I was already 140 pounds. My first play, 70-yard touchdown run. Then 8th grade, they started letting me play quarterback, but it was all QB sneaks, and they called me Mike Allstott. And then boom, just like that. 9th grade comes, first season, throwing touchdowns, and then offers start pouring in. NC State, Purdue. And then this is the other thing, is it's not even about talent, it's about power. Humans are nuclear reactors, and the ones that can generate the most power go to the NFL. So when I was a junior in high school, I was already benching 375. These are real numbers. I was already squatting 675. And so you see some of these kids that can throw a spiral, and it's beautiful, but then they can't lift weights, and they're not strong, and they don't have big bodies. And so that's why you see someone like Josh Allen, who maybe is under-recruited, but then still makes it to the Bills, because he's an absolute fucking beast. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he's a fucking monster.
You squatted 675 pounds as a junior in high school?
Swear on my life, my mom will die in a fucking plane crash right now. Just jacking weights, bro. They would pull me. My face was covered in pizza, fucking acne, pus just coming out of my pores. And I was just fucking growling all day. Fucking, ooh, step into a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah. And I would just fucking, just cranking weights. My coach pulls me in the office. He says, bro, I got to be honest with you, bro. You taking fucking steroids? What's wrong with you?
Were you natty?
What is that?
Were you natural? Were you using?
Oh yeah. I to this day, I'm country strong as I'm just a country fuck, dude. I got forearms the size of fucking tree branches. I got big Goro legs for Mortal Kombat. I'm telling you, bro. A lot of people like to fuck with me online and stuff, but I had my filmographer Vlad. He came out Tuesday. He's this little fucking Israeli kid from the Ukraine, and he's out there filming me. And he was like, holy shit, oh my God, what the fuck? And he was like, his mind was exploding watching me throw. And I'm just like a fucking warthog with a fucking missile.
Did you, have you been playing any like 37U semi-pro? Because you got to be putting this somewhere.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And, I think I tried I messed around. There was a semi-pro team, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or something, maybe when I started throwing and stuff. But you got to understand, those guys they're all poor. They have no money. They're all like $15 an hour. I'm like a rich person. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to do anything. I'm like a trust fund kid. So I do whatever I want every day. I don't like being around poor people because like through osmosis, they'll make me poor and stuff. And so I don't like to touch them. I like if a poor person shakes my hand, I wash my fucking hands real quick or whatever. I don't like to breathe the same air as them because I don't want like their fucking poor DNA blood cell breath to get into my mouth and go into my brain and make me fucking a deadbeat. And so, and then the other thing is some in those semi-pro teams, they inject themselves with vitamin B12 needles. I'm not making this up. That's how they get up for the game because they're 37 and they can't get boners and shit. They take black honeys from the gas station before the games. They inject themselves with vitamin B12 needles. And so I just try to stay away from stuff like that.
Okay. I mean, that's a very fair point because I've been seeing some crazy stuff on TikTok of those 70 semi-pro 37U leagues, just total crash outs.
Yeah. Could you imagine this is the other thing. No one talks about this. I don't know if you're going to even be able to post this live at Barstool. The beep, beep. So this is the thing is when you play college football, you get free healthcare. When you're in the NFL, you get free healthcare. So Tua with his concussions, access to world-class surgeons, best MRI. The average MRI costs $1,500. If me and you wanted to go get it off the street, when you have a family of 3, Cobra's $1,500 a month. I mean, that's half of a paycheck for some people. And so when you get hurt playing college football, one time I was in my dorm room, right? And I'm jerking off to askparade.com. I had what I thought was an aneurysm. My temple started pounding. I blacked out. I fell on the ground. My roommate came in there and found me butt naked with my boner on the ground. He scooped me up like a baby and he brought me to the student infirmary. An old lady gave me Gatorades. They told the football coaches, who immediately drove me to an MRI tube to see if I had blood clots in my brain. I didn't. The worst thing that happened was they wouldn't shake my hand for a few days. That's a true story. But if that happened and it was just at my house here now with my wife at work and my kid at school, then I probably would have died because I wouldn't have access to free healthcare like they do in college football.
Now, what happened? Why'd you black out?
I think I had been lifting so hard that day and squeezing my neck and doing shrugs that I had like a pinch sciatica. And so when you don't realize this, when you start like getting ready to come, your heart starts pounding. And they say you can burn up to a mile from fucking. And so my heart started pounding and I felt a throbbing but I was about to nut. And I had a power come and I fucking passed out, bro.
I've seen it happen to guys.
Yeah, just coated in candle juice. My hand, like I looked at my hand, you could have put a wick right here between my fingers and just lit it. It would just been coated in fucking candle cum.
No, I mean, it's a lot of pressure, like especially when you're lifting. I had a buddy who's like would regularly get nosebleeds while squatting. Shout out John Rooney.
Exactly. You get nosebleeds because you're fucking, you're straining.
And if you were straining earlier in the day, I completely believe that story. No, 100%.
It's a real story. I'm not lying to you. I have no filter. I tell no lies. I'm like Trump. That's why nobody believes him, because he's just telling you the truth like so fucking hard you can't even comprehend it. You're like, he's lying. I know he's lying. But this is the thing. So when you squat in college, this is the thing. And this is also why I'm so strong now, is the foundation you build in college football. Bro, their weightlifting programs, you do 5 sets of 10 squats, but they put 500 pounds on the bar, and they make you wear a belt, and they hug you from the back, and they drop down with you a spotter, and you're just like shaking, and your eyes are crossing, and they're fucking lifting you up, and you 1 set of 10. I'm not kidding you. You have to take a fucking 30-minute mental break before you can. It takes literally 4 hours to do squats.
Dude, I know. I mean, I wasn't doing 500. I topped out around 475.
That's still a lot.
Dude, to this day, I can still rip 315 5x5.
It's hard. Yeah.
All the like lifts you do from when you're in puberty to your first couple of years, that's strength you have forever. Like you put that on, you're not losing that unless you get super sick.
Right. And it gets in your bones and your blood, and you kind of just stay strong for the rest of your life. And this is the other thing. I was in Nebraska. Even the women are strong. That was one of my favorite parts about being a D1 athlete, is when the volleyball girls, they would wear the Spanx and they had these big fat asses, and they would come in and you'd be working out, but you'd also get like fucking be getting super horny at the same time. You're like, I'm going to fucking choke one of them to death with a fucking noogie.
That's a PED in itself. That's got to max your T.
Yeah, it is. But anyways, this is super hilarious. So the volleyball girl, I was power clean in 225. I walk away to get some Gatorade, maybe a cereal bar. I come back and this volleyball girl is yoking 225 on my fucking bar. And so, and if it was a guy, I would have went over there and tried to like fucking beat him up and get the fuck off my bar. But because I saw a big volleyball Amazonian woman doing it, I kind of got embarrassed and I just fucking pretended like I wasn't doing power cleans and I walked away and I just let her have it. But that's how strong the women are. They're as strong as the guys.
Was she ripping straight power cleans or deadlifts?
Bro, Nebraska volleyball women are no fucking joke, bro. They're no joke.
Have you seen that article that went viral about Nebraska Strength?
I'm sure it's, what is it? Something about them being super powerful or something or what?
Back in like the 80s, they were the first people to have a strength program. And like you could tell that they were juicing all those dudes. If you definitely look it up.
I'm sure they were. I don't know why the kids don't juice. You have one shot to knock. It's your chance to blow mom spaghetti, fucking dinners. That whole Eminem song. As a kid, you need to be given you need to teach your kid how to cuss. Because if your kid, because in sports, all you're saying is fuck this and you motherfucker and you're flinching at people and it's a federal prison. So if you teach your kid to be a good Christian and don't cuss, all I'm going to have to do to get in his head is say fuck off and he's going to get all freaked out. Okay. My parents don't drink and don't cuss. Well, I do. And I'm a degenerate. Welcome to fucking hell. I'm the devil. Okay. And then the second piece is this is you got to give your kids cheat. Get them on Adderall. Get them on, fucking give them go to the doctor, find out, can I give them HGH, testosterone? Can I bring them to Miami and get them some Barry Bonds Balco? Why not cheat? Who cares? Because guess what? Everyone else, it's capitalism, bro. Who's going to be the best in college football? The people who don't cheat are the ones who don't get to become the billionaires.
So family vacation to Tijuana to get some, go to some Mexican pharmacies.
I see it all the time. The parents, they take their kid to the park and they kick the soccer ball with them. I'm like, what's he going to do? What's he going to do in the future with his feet? Nothing. Hard work comes from the hands. Got to teach him how to throw. I told my sister this. I said, bring a football on your Tinder date. Get out of the car in the parking lot at the Chili's and say, hit me with a 30-yard spiral right now. And if the kid can't throw a 30-yard spiral, you can't have sex with them because you're going to make a brain-dead baby. You're going to make a petri dish baby. You can't throw a pass. There's a lot of adults that cannot throw spirals. You know this phenomenon, right?
No, it's very scary. Throwgod, I'm actually going to send you my highlight tape after this conversation, so you understand that we're two gunslingers talking gunslinging.
I love it. I love it. Please do.
Throwing, like from a primal perspective, is just the best thrower is the alpha best hunter.
Exactly, because they had to throw spears through buffaloes and shit to kill. They didn't have guns back then. They had their gun was their arm.
Yeah. Dude, so like if you're the quarterback from a primal physicality, you are the alpha on the field.
Right.
I mean, it translates to all walks of life too.
Yeah, you're the prison warden. I'm telling you, go in a locker room, butt naked, walking around, dick swinging. Who's got the biggest monkey tail? I had a guy one time, he's jerking off in his locker. And I said, Barry, what the fuck are you doing? He said, I'm trying to get some blood in my meat, dog, so I can show out in the shower. Oh, well, they didn't tell me about that before I got to college football.
You ever cross paths with Will Compton? He might have been a little after your time.
No, I didn't. I know. Like, I guess bussing with the boys. I haven't now. I'm sure he knows who I am though, but he probably watches all my fucking videos and worships me. I barely watch any of his stuff, but why?
No, I was just wondering if like by chance at Nebraska you guys crossed over. I know there's a little bit of like a 4-year difference, but
I think he's like Gen Z Nebraska. I think he's like 10 years after me or something.
Yeah. So what do you think of the Cowboys? So Dak has always puzzled me because I don't know if he's real or not. He has like spurts of greatness, but then, he just can't win the big one. And I needed your dichotomy on Dak because I know that you have the insight that will like help me.
He's part of a bubble. Lamar Jackson, $260 million. Kyler Murray, $230 million. Deshaun Watson, internet rapist, $260 million. They're giving $250,000. Jalen Hurts, $260 million. Dak just got 200. I mean, literally, we're looking at $1.25, $1.5 billion in quarterbacks who don't go to the playoffs, who don't set the stage. They don't set records. They don't go to the playoffs. They don't win Super Bowls. And it's part of the NFL is basically going through a huge gentrification process. They're trying to become like the NBA. They're trying to look, it is what it is, bro. They're trying to get rid of the pumpkin pie haircutted fucking Lloyd Christmas with the long ball white quarterback. They're trying to, because that's all it used to be. Peyton Manning, Steve Young, Troy Aikman, Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe. I bet they told Tom Brady to retire. They're like, you're not the right race anymore. Retire. Okay. And they're trying to literally install these dual threat quarterbacks, and social media loves them. Social media, they're the favorite because they see the runs and the highlights. They win nothing because they win nothing. They get sacked. Caleb Williams, 10 sacks. Caleb Williams had a look. I'm going to let you talk here in a second, but Caleb Williams, I wouldn't be surprised if we get to 5, 6, 7 games and he keeps getting hit like this, if he's the first quarterback to say, I'm good, dog, and just retire after one season and just be like, I'm too sexy for this.
Tua should absolutely retire.
Yeah. The only thing I think about Tua retiring, though, is that you kind of have a responsibility to get that money. And so if he dies, it's all good. That's the oath you took when you married and had a baby, is your wife and kids are supposed to spend all your money, and you just go work like a slave. So he might just need to take that bullet in the brain and just fucking and just turn himself into Muhammad Ali, and just keep playing, and then he can just wheel around in a wheelchair for the rest of his life.
No, but like like guys who get clapped like that, like I don't know how many fencing responses you've seen like on the field, but if you're getting a fencing response from a hit like that should just maybe like knock you out, like you're done. Like your jaw's gone. It's like in boxing where guys just
the my germs hand. Yeah, he was just, but I'm telling you, his trainer was down there, was like, go ahead and die, because I mean, it's either this or you can go get a day job. Which one do you want? And as soon as Tua heard that, his fucking brain turned back on. He's like, I think I want to play ball. I don't want to go get a broke day job and have a small dick and live the rest of my life as a fucking nobody. I'd rather be in the NFL.
Dude, but he's got 60 mil already, so he could just retire. Go put that in the S&P 500.
They said you have to have $30 million, Gen Z. I saw a TED Talk. They said you have to have $30 million to retire. When I was a kid, my mom always used to tell me, she'd say, you're not going to be able to retire until you get $2 million, so you better save your money. And I heard it's up to 30 now with inflation.
Yeah, dude, it's fucked. I can't even buy a house. I ran for Congress on that.
Did you really run for Congress? I'm thinking about doing that. A lot of people say I should be president of the United States. So what did you do?
Dude, I mean, it's fucking hard. They screwed me. They did the same thing they did to RFK to me. I was literally like, yo, this shit sucks. Like, look at this shit. So I ran for Congress, did pretty well, got on Fox News. We got over like 3,000 signatures. I was out there every day getting signatures.
I've seen you before.
Don't get into politics.
You kind of have a political face too.
Well, no, it's the alpha jaw, the ones that you use to like crack nuts back in the day. It's same with the rocket arm.
Yeah, you look like a white guy who likes to argue too.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So what's Thanksgiving like for you? Do you have liberal parents at all or anything? Or are you?
It's freaking all out.
My mom is a Hillary Clinton Democrat.
Dude, my mom's a Hillary Clinton Democrat too. And she's like, what the fuck?
They have no idea. In 2008, my brother, he was like a waiter and trying to find his way in life and shit. And I'm playing college football and he's like, watch this video on the Illuminati. And I'm like, shut up, bro. You're just broke and don't have money. And I watched it and like something snapped in my fucking head. And like, I saw the world for the first time and I was like, what the fuck? And then I started getting in I know all these I wish I didn't know, but I started watching all these conspiracies and I'm like trying to tell my mom the Statue of Liberty is the whore of Babylon. And she's like, shut the fuck up, because they don't use the internet, the boomers.
Yeah. Dude, so I was on a conspiracy podcast called Macrodosing with Arian Foster and PFT commenters. So I got kicked off because I ran for Congress and my takes were too hot. And I was like, you guys are idiots sometimes because you literally can't see that the justice system is being weaponized against Donald Trump. and you're complicit as fuck. And they're like, if Donald Trump gets into office, he's never going to give the power back and he's going to extend his term limits and become a dictator. And I'm like, dude, you guys are fucking like, what the hell? So, I mean, I totally get it from that perspective. But yeah, I got some, what's your craziest conspiracy theory? Because this is technically a conspiracy theory podcast, but like, I got some takes.
Well, my thing is I want to join the conspiracy theory. I want to go to Epstein Island. I think it's the best birthday party you've ever been to. I think you get off the fucking plane. Bill Clinton, he's got some fucking Ray-Bans on from the Sunglass Hut. I think they got JonBenet Ramsey still alive, and she has an Ouija board with alligator tails of blow on it, and they and they go fucking mahi-mahi fishing, and they fucking have all the girls from I don't think it's the children and the babies and the trafficking. I think Bill Clinton and them are butt fucking all the girls from Brazzers.com. They're out on an island. They look, there's a Bella Danger and Ava Adams and fucking Nikki Benz. And I think they're just fucking having a fucking pool party and with some pussy. And they're fucking just live streaming it and filming it so they can fucking jack off later. I think they take Nikki Benz to the edge of a cliff. They take one of the prostitutes. They flew out there in a plane. And they just take her to a cliff. And one of them gets to pick her up over the head and throw her off the cliff into the water, and fucking they pour champagne and stuff, and the sharks are just fucking eating her, and they're pissing off the fucking cliff onto her, and they're like, fuck yes, this is badass.
I do get it from the point, like, Bill Gates definitely can't have any fun because everyone knows he's married and he's a fucking nerd, but he's like, yo, I've made billions of dollars and I still can't get laid. Like, how do I get laid?
My thing about the conspiracy theories is they're just like, if you're like against child trafficking, but all you're doing is Googling child trafficking, then you're like clicking on it and supporting it in a way and making it get promoted in the algorithm. And like you're spending all your time. So like you're kind of into it yourself. And so I kind of got away from the conspiracy theories because none of them are fun. And I think the billionaires, I think they have a lot of fun. I think conspiracy theories are way fucking cooler. Then they always try to make them sad. And I just think they're way fucking better than that.
I mean, P. Diddy, what do you think the P. Diddy thing is? Do you think it's just a bunch, just like guys having fun, getting way out of control, orgies, hookers, cocaine, flying in girls?
I think it sounds like the fucking post-game celebration of the Colorado game the other day. That's what I fucking think. I think it just sounds like a football program freak off. I mean, I went to college. When I was in college, we didn't have phones and shit. But I mean,
yeah,
if you go, this is the thing is like, when I hear about these P. Diddy freak off, like college kids, right? When they're like in a college town, you don't realize like when you're in a small little college town, they have like at NC State, they have the Hillsborough Hike. Every single night, people are going to the bars, drinking, partying. You're fucking all the time. You're doing drugs. You're playing football. And so like, literally playing college football is no different than playing for a P. Diddy freak off. It's no different. I mean, but to the NPCs and shit that didn't get to like go do this shit, they're like, oh my God, they're fucking all the time. You know how many times I go up to the CBD smoke sex shop and I fucking stare at the dildo section and I ask the lady, I'm like, which one should I pick? You know what I'm saying? So I don't give a fuck about them finding lube and sex toys and shit. It sounds fucking badass. I wish I was invited to a fucking P. Diddy freak off. You
might be too freak for the freak off.
I know, right? I would love that shit.
When you went to D2, how big was the drop off?
Okay, so this is the thing. This is the thing about D2 is they're just smaller. They have almost the same speed, almost similar strength. You ever seen like a Down syndrome kid that has like superhuman strength? Okay. And they have elephantitis. They have like a huge dick and superhuman strength, but because their eyes are off, because they're like, because they look like that. That's what it looks like. When you get under center in D2, all the defensive linemen are like, I'm fucking hungry. And you're just like, it's like a herd of fucking Down syndrome D linemen that are going to come fucking eat your dead body. That's really what it's like. They have pony cleats on from Walmart and shit, Shaq shoes, stuff like that. I'm not kidding you. I played Southern Arkansas. I almost won the Harlan Hill in D2. I finished like fucking second for it, but I dropped back against Southern Arc. I had a left tackle from Florida State. We had 27 D1 players that all got DUIs and fucking fell asleep in McDonald's drive-thrus and shit, high on drugs. And so that's what they all do is they go to D2. It's like banishment for like fucking like bad D1 players that get in trouble. They're like, have fun in Dante's Inferno, fucking D2. And so we're all down there. I had a visor on. I'm smoking blunts for the game. I'm super high. I'm relaxed. And when you smoke a blunt, you synchronize with the black player's mind. You guys actually see each other for the first time. You become friends and shit. And you can you can freestyle using telekinesis and shit. And that's how I knew to make the throws. And anyways, I dropped back and this kid, he looked like Gary Coleman, but at defensive line, like white socks halfway up his shins. And he fucking drilled me. And I got up and I'm like, what the fuck? And I turn around and I'm just like, whoa, that was my welcome to D2 moment.
Dude, I played D3, but I played in the NESCAC, which is not the playoff eligible. So there's no drug testing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know. So there's no drug testing. So everyone's playing whacked out, like roided up. So there's this one college, let's just say they're called Hartford State. So there's just a bunch of Guidos from Jersey, Long Island, some from Mass, and they're all juiced to the gills and like Jersey Shore types, but playing football, but absolute like roid heads, like SARMs goblins. You know about SARMs?
What the fuck is SARMs?
SARMs are these like oral steroids that are like new on the market.
Can you get them on Amazon? Because I'll buy that shit.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, gives you pretty bad brain damage.
Well, I got blood clots from the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
No way.
Dude, it took me a year to fucking recover. People were like, Throwgod, how come you're not throwing? It's like, because I would take 10 steps and have a fucking heart attack. I literally woke up one day and I walked out to the kitchen and my heart was going like this. And I'm like, what the fuck? And my wife is like, you're being a pussy. What are you going to go to the doctor? You got sand in your pussy and talking shit. And I'm like, no, babe, I don't know what's going on. And I'm sitting at the doctor. He comes into the office and he's all calm and shit. And like 10 minutes earlier, he's like, everything's good. I think you're going to go. We're just going to get your dimers test back. And he sits down. He goes, we're calm. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, man, I'm sorry, but you have 2 days left to live. If you don't go to the hospital right now, you're going to die. And I'm like, why? I had 2 pulmonary embolisms the size of quarters in my lungs, and I had 100 blood clots.
Oh, my God.
Dude, and I'm thrashing around like a shark. And he's like, you can't drive because if one pops, you'll fucking just die and kill someone else. And I fucking get to the hospital, my oxygen drops to 70, and I'm like, and I'm writing poems in my phone that my fucking family can find. Like, if I die, like, I love you so much. And my kid's like, Dad, I'm going viral on YouTube. And I'm like, that's great, son. Fucking keep it up, man. And and they're fucking pumping me full of Dilaudid and shit. I was in the ICU for 8 days.
Holy shit, dude. I got the J&J because I thought it was fucking like it was just like a saline that I could just get away with.
I got it to take one for the family. Dude, I had a job in Oakland. I was working at a hospital making like $250K. They call me on the phone. They're like, did you get the vaccine? I'm like, people from Texas don't get vaccinated. And they're like, what? And they're like, you're fired. And they fired me from like, literally, I'm not kidding you, like a fucking $6,000 paycheck fucking job. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm the dad. So like Tua, I got to fucking die. You know what I'm saying? I got to take one for the team. No one in my family's vaccinated. I'm like, I'll fucking do it. I walk in and out of the pharmacy like 8 times. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And then the guy finally, I'm like, you better do it right now or I'm going to fucking freak out and kill you in this pharmacy. And he fucking got me. I got a bad fever. And then 6 months later, I fucking get fucking blood clots. Now I have to take Eliquis every day, bro. It's a fucking nightmare.
Oh, Jesus. Dude, I got fucking vaxxed in a subway station, which was fucking disgusting. I mean, not the first time anyone shot up in a subway station, but I literally was like, what the fuck? I'm in Grand Central Station and they're shooting me up with this shit. I did it because literally I wouldn't have been allowed to go on this work trip to meet Josh Allen.
Same thing. It's crazy. And then nobody even cares about COVID now. No one even like talks about it. No one even coughs. Like no one even gets sick in the world anymore.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's pretty fucked what happened, and that no one's like, it's kind of like, hey, what the fuck, guys? Dude, did you hear about that fucking, you know who else has been sucking in fucking orgies? The hospital head for NYC. Let me pull this up. He was having orgies during COVID while he was telling everyone to social distance. Let's see if this even, yeah, they didn't post it.
Gavin Newsom did the same thing in California. He got caught like at a fucking winery having a birthday party and shit.
Dude, it is whack. Yeah. NYC health official had drug-fueled orgies while ordering. Yeah. Why haven't they posted this yet? Blog. I blog all this shit, and then like some stuff they're like, oh, we're not going to post that because it's too bad or whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. When I worked in Oakland, I was doing the housekeeping. So like people were like, they had a whole hallway where they just tarped it up, and like all they put was COVID patients in it, like senior living. And I had all these janitors and stuff. And I'm like, who wants to work in the COVID hallway today? And I'll pay you time and a half. And they had to like don and doff, like, and duct tape their fucking gloves on and like walk in there in Tyvek suits and fucking just live. They weren't allowed to leave the whole day because you wouldn't be allowed to go back in.
Oh my God. Jeez. I mean, a lot of those COVID patients, you worked in the hospitals. Is it true that they like, in order to get more government funding, they would attribute more deaths to COVID, like died with COVID?
Yeah. They love that shit. They want it, bro. My
teammate's dad, who's a doctor, was like, yo, if we report more COVID deaths, this hospital gets more money from the government.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's an incentive. So who really knows what the fuck the numbers were? Yes, a bunch of people did definitely get impacted, but how many people died from getting locked up, like, and not being able to work?
Yeah. I know, dude. I was just in Manhattan in New York City, and I went to the Crab House. Have you ever been there?
Where?
It's like this restaurant. I spent $700. It's all you can eat lobster in Manhattan, the Crab House.
It's on Park Avenue?
Yeah. They just keep bringing baskets of crab out, and I was just so fucking high, and I just kept eating lobsters. And then I fucking freaked myself out because I was like, these are just insects that come from the ocean. I'm just fucking eating them, bro. And then I couldn't eat them. And then I just started laughing, thinking about like how I was sending the lobsters that I didn't even touch back. And there was just like little Chinese people in the back, like eating the crumbs of my leftovers. And then I went to Carmine's, and Carmine's is good. I got the family style, all you could eat cheese raviolis and vodka sauce.
Dude, Carmine's is dope. You were actually right in my area.
Yeah, Carmine's is fucking amazing. Espresso martinis and fucking raviolis. I was sitting there with my family, and I saw a guy with a Ziploc bag, and he had a bunch of fucking little like grams of crack rock, like in saran wrap, and he was just doing a drug deal on the sidewalk right next to me while I was having dinner. Is that why? How does that happen in Texas? He would be rounded up and sent to a FEMA camp,
dude. And this is literally why I fucking ran for Congress. So that area that you were in, right? So there's this TV show called Gossip Girl, right? So like around that area, the people who live there, it's like supposed to be the nicest area in the city. It's supposed to be safe. Like they pay super high taxes. Since COVID, the crime in New York City has become like ridiculous. Like it's like GTA. There's no laws, and the cops can't do shit. I saw a guy in a dress jerking off in the women's bathroom at a basketball court right next to the UN building. And I literally had to call the cops because this dude was just jerking off, waiting for women to come into the bathroom. And he was in a dress, and he had a bunch of bags. And that was right after they kicked out a lot of the illegal immigrants who were staying in the hotels. So I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I literally have the picture in 911 call recorded just so people would believe this. But like, I called the cops came, and they just told him to leave the park. And he was literally shooting up heroin. Well, I swear to God, he was shooting up with a boner. Wildest thing I've ever seen. And I can literally call my friend right now to prove it. It was like bingo of like all the shit people have been complaining about. And he just got to sit right outside the park. They just told him to leave the park and get out of the women's bathroom. They didn't even arrest him.
Yeah, he would be in a FEMA camp. They would put him in an oven here in Texas. He would get put right into a pizza oven and cooked. There's no crime here in Texas. It's just white people and concrete everywhere. It's like they vacuum the streets here. Every time I go to New York, it's just like I have to be like an Allied Barton security guard for my family, and I have to they're all having fun and smiling, and I'm just scanning and surveying the sidewalks at all time for a school shooter.
You got that head on a swivel.
What floor are you on? Are you on like the 13th floor? Do you have to wait fucking 30 minutes to get on the elevator every day when you want to leave the house?
I actually, technically my address is out there, so I don't want to tell people because of the whole Congress thing. So I don't want to tell people what level I live on because then they could actually find me.
Well, that's fine. But my thing is when I go to New York, I'm always waiting at the elevator for an hour. And you almost don't even want to leave. And then they don't even have ice or water and shit in the rooms. And you got to like go down the elevator. You got to go out in the city and go to 7-Eleven and get a fucking ice and water and bring it back to your room. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, why didn't I just go to the beach?
What brings you to New York? Just visiting?
Yeah, I just like to go there and walk around, and every time you go out to eat, spend $500 fucking dollars. I went and saw Harry Potter. My mom was like, you guys should go see Harry Potter. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'd never seen a Broadway play before. 4 hours long. I took like fucking 5 gummies, and I'm just like, I'm just going fucking brain dead and just shaking in my chair because I have ADHD and I just want to fucking get up and walk around. And then at the end of Harry Potter, they make him gay. They make Harry Potter gay. I'm not kidding you. That's the end, is he tells his dad that he's gay. That's the end of Harry Potter.
But isn't his dad dead?
No, like Harry Potter, in the play, he grows up and he has a son, Harry Potter's son. And Harry Potter's son tells Harry Potter, like, I'm gay, Dad. And he's like, whoever you want to love is your choice. And like, everyone's like clapping. Woo! And I have my hand over my son's eyes. I'm like covering his eyes. I'm like, he's not gay. Don't worry. It's a lie. He's just bi. He likes women too.
Dude, if you're ever in New York, I'll show you some awesome spots that aren't $500, but like dope Italian food and, cold Peroni, nice beers. Like, dude, there's this, my favorite, like kind of touristy place, but actually is freaking awesome. It's called McSorley's Ale House. And you can just go there and slam beers.
I eat like 30 Sabret hot dogs.
Yeah.
I think they just keep them in the water too. Like I think the little Indian guys, I think they just keep the hot dogs in that boiling water. I'm talking days on end. Like you just get, yeah.
But they're good.
They are. And they're cheap. That's how you do it. If you really want to save money, just eat at those food trucks. Just eat hot dogs and like lamb on saffron rice bowls and shit.
Bro, you know what's actually like a really cheap vacation? Vegas, as long as you don't gamble.
I just got back from Vegas. I just went to Vegas. I stayed at Caesar's Palace. One of the waitresses gave me Adderall. And I was like, are you sure this isn't fentanyl? And she's like, no, it's Adderall. And I was like, I don't fucking care either way. And I put it in my mouth and I just was fucking, my eyes were fucking bugging, and it was amazing. I love Las Vegas. I went to Super Frico. I paid $100 for them to stretch fucking mozzarella cheese in my face and put it on bread. It was delicious. I got a ribeye for $195. I ate the whole fucking thing. I went to a Bacchanal buffet, and the little Asian lady's like, that would be $298. And I said, I don't fucking care. I was hungover, and I just they don't even do all you can drink mimosas anymore.
What?
At the buffet. It used to be like for an extra $37, you could get all you could drink mimosas. Now it's $40 and they give you a bottle. I'm like, what am I going to do with a bottle? I need 5 of these fucking bottles to even feel anything.
Dude, the all you can drink beer at some of the buffets gets out of hand.
Yeah.
That you can just sit there and just yug.
Yeah, that's my thing is I love day drinking. I love to just get fucking day drunk because then you go to bed at 8 o'clock and you fucking wake up the next day and it's like you're just fucking sober and rational and you're like, it's perfect. Anytime I stay up doing fucking blow or something past 2 a.m., it's the worst day. Dude,
you still do blow with the how it's going with the drugs and everything?
Yeah, I'm type A. Weed is for fucking look. Weed's fine, but to me, it's like an ibuprofen. And I know the Gen Z kids, and it's getting legalized, and they're making gummies, and they're fucking like, I got my vapes and shit. But weed basically doesn't do anything for me. I just end up either staring or I go schizophrenic and I walk around in circles and mumble to myself. I'm too type A. I'm too type A, so I like fucking energy and like uppers and like fucking working out like a fucking psycho and fucking jogging and walking my dog.
You ever rip beta alanine?
No, what does that do?
Dude, take this shit. It makes your skin crawl. It's a stimulant for your body, and it gives you nitro oxide boost. So like it gets your veins big as fuck. So you get an insane pump. It also like gets you dick hard. It's like that type of thing. Like where you get an insane pump and your like forearms are like fucking boners.
Yeah, that's perfect. I took C4 powder one time, and I literally fucking almost like I literally was driving my golf cart to go throw up at the field, and I fucking was getting myself all hyped up to make content, and I fucking blacked out, and I drove my golf cart right into the stop sign, and then I fucking backed out, and I went up to the field and threw.
Dude, you might want to get that checked out if you're blacking out, like from a very early age in life.
Not even from alcohol too, just from an energy overdose.
Dude, love C4, rip C4. Dude, the new C4s in a can are awesome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I was just doing like they taste better than the pre-workout and they hit harder than the pre-workout.
Do you think Elon Musk is actually going to fucking get us to Mars? I think it's bullshit, bro. And I think it's a waste of time. We got amputees on here on Earth that can't get new legs and burn victims that fucking faces melted off like mozzarella cheese and they have to live ugly for the rest of their fucking lives. And we're worried about, I can't even get fucking AT&T phone service in some parts of the city. And we're going to go to fucking Mars. And then when we get to Mars, who's going to build it? They're going to send the construction workers and the fucking people that the blue collar people, and they're going to breed and have babies. And we're going to go all the way back to the cavemen again, because the first people up there are going to have to be all the inbreds who work with their hands and nails and hammers and shit. Billionaires aren't going to build shit. So we're going to send all of our fucking worst criminals up to Mars to build all these fucking greenhouse terrariums and stuff. They're going to get horny. They're going to start fucking, and the future is going to be filled with fucking thousands of fucking caveman creatures. They're going to turn into cannibals. We're going to get up to Mars, the normal people with white privilege that just want a nice life, and they're going to fucking, the first people off the ship are going to get turned into supper and fucking eaten.
That's sort of the basis of American Australia. That's sort of what happened.
Yeah.
The first people to really survive out there, like the Wild West, like, and I don't know, America, I'm a fan. You a fan of America? I'm a fan.
Well, last thing, I know you got to go here. I'm going, I actually have a deathcore band, so I'm fucking going to do one more of my Spotify songs.
Is that the dyed hair?
Yeah, I'm just going to start getting tattoos on my face like Post Malone. Henna tattoos at first, just so I can dry erase them if I want. But I laugh because America, we complain about illegal immigration, and really the Mexicans and the people that come from South America, they're just bad at marketing because they say, oh, they're coming in a caravan, and I just imagine a bunch of people in a Toyota Sienna. But what Americans do really well is we invade the Middle East, but we call it imperialism, which is a very sexy name. And the people are like, here come the Caucasians with their Chick-fil-A's, and we set up fast food restaurants and we feed people. And so I really think if illegal immigration, they just need to market a little bit better about about what their dinner menus are, what kind of foods they're going to bring here. And we would fucking leave them alone and let them come into our country.
Hey, maybe you should work for their PR firm.
I think everyone in America is going to end up moving to Africa. I think they're doing when Christopher Columbus came here to America, he brought smallpox to clear forest and to clear out all the fucking Indian people and all the white people. We came here to party. And that's the biggest problem right now is we came to America to create a white world with white privilege where we can party, and we're getting and the party sucks now. The music's bad. It's like Dreas nightclub in Las Vegas, and you're looking inside and you're like, there's no fucking, who's in here? I don't want to go in that club. It looks scary. And so we all are going to leave this country, and it's going to be a race reversal. We're clearing out all the forests in Africa. We're rounding up all the tribes and all the people. We're putting them on planes. We're shipping them over here. The people here in America are complaining, oh, the immigrants are coming. But the government and the political people, what they're doing is they're trying to get the country ready for the biggest white concert ever. And they're going to move all of us are going to actually move to Africa, and Africa is going to become the new North America. And it's right next to Europe. where there's a bunch of white people in Britain, and it's just that whole section of the planet is just going to be all the important people. America's too far. It's across the Atlantic Ocean. They got to keep flying planes and shit over here. They're like, make Africa the new America, and you'll just be right here. You'll be our fucking neighbors. That's why the NFL is trying to do NFL Europe.
Do you know that I played football in Africa?
Please, that's awesome.
Dude, I played for the Ugandan national team. I don't know about all that you just said. I played quarterback for the Ugandan national team.
That's amazing. What were anybody? Was it the air up there with Kevin Bacon and there was like fucking badass people, or what was it like? Usain Bolt can't catch. What was it like? Mosquito burger patties.
Great speed
in Africa. It's like on Instagram
not
Reels.
As many linemen.
They take like 100,000 mosquitoes and they squish their bodies together, and then they cook
very
them like
high
a hamburger
carb,
patty.
low protein diet. So a lot of they couldn't put on as much mass just from their traditional diet. America, like for granted, because
they're owned by the Chinese.
Yeah, well now, that's a problem.
Smithfield is. There's a good show called Land Grab on Amazon.
We got to bring home the bacon. Smithfield bacon. Fucking China owns it. That was one of my congressional slogans.
Yeah, literally. And they're also buying up all the water reserves, and they're shipping water back to the third world country. I'm not kidding you. In small Texas towns, Aaron Brockovich water. A lot of and the jokes on them, because they're going to start getting boils on their faces. They've never watched Aaron Brockovich before, where the children get cancer and stuff from drinking the water. So they're buying up the water reserves. They're going to bring it back to their third world country, and all their children are going to turn into mongoloids because of American water.
Dude, these are some hot takes. I know. I don't know if I can stand by a lot of these recent hot takes, but get the people thinking.
It is what it is, bro. All right, I gotta go do stuff. So are you good? You need anything else from me?
No, awesome, amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. Come on any other time you want. If you're ever
just post it, bro. Just full send. Don't fucking be a pussy and edit all this shit. I'm not
gonna be a pussy. I'm just gonna say, I do not endorse everything you said.
You don't have to endorse it. It's a learning experience. I mean, I made you a better person today.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And also subscribe to Audio Crack YouTube. Check out Throwgod. You have a podcast?
Yeah, I do. It's just Throwgod on Spotify. It's like does like 40-something thousand, whatever. Everybody loves me. Everybody knows me. I'm an A-list celebrity. I'm like a underground, everyone's favorite fucking punk rock band and shit. It's you'll be surprised. Ask all your famous friends. Ask Big Cat fucking at Barstool. Ask your friend Brandon Walker why he got kicked off his own fucking show, and they all laughed at him. So Dave Portnoy, he's probably my biggest fan. It is what it is, bro. I just gotta keep on keeping on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Make sure not to exit out before you upload. You're 85% uploaded. Thanks so much. Subscribe, check out Throwgod, TikTok, Instagram. Have a good one, Audio Crackheads.
Daddy used to knock them down, yeah, and I should have known not to mess around with the nightlife or the bright lights or the women who won't be